Hello and welcome to the Empty Nesters Creed. Actually, that's the short name. The full name of our group is called the Phoenix Empty Nesters Creed. So, welcome and welcome to the first in the series of the storytelling part of our group activities. It's 3 a.m. Some would say it's in the morning, but because this is the time when people are sleeping, I'll call it in the middle of the night. And I'm gonna be the first one to start telling a certain stage of my life that I'm at, which is going to be typically showing or demonstrating why we picked the name Phoenix Empty Nesters Creed. And on a personal perspective or on a personal note, it's going to demonstrate why I've decided to call my stories at this stage the Phoenix in me. Right? I've picked that title for the series of the stories I'm going to start telling from today, but later on, not in the middle of the night, as I've just said. This is just an intro because I'm going through a phase at the moment, which I think is a notable milestone. And I think it is actually the perfect time to start sharing this story of this phase in my life, because it's one of those phases that is demonstrating to me and hopefully to you watchers that I am one of those people who keeps rising no matter how many times I fall. I'm one of those people who actually is cut out to never quit. And that's not to say in my mind the thoughts of quitting never come. They do. And that's not to say in my heart sometimes I want to indulge my mind and actually allow myself to quit. But for a reason that I can't even explain to myself, at that point when it really matters, instead of quitting, I find myself fighting. And then I find myself rising. I used to use the words rock bottom a lot before, because many times I've felt like I've reached rock bottom and there seems to be no way out, no way back up, and no way at all. But here I am telling my stories. I have spent the last 2.5 months packing, and this is me packing to move out of a place or to move out of a city that I have lived in since 2011. We are in 2024. It means I've lived here in this city for 13 years. That's the longest I've ever lived in one city in my whole life. Imagine that. You're probably thinking, what? Is that really true? Because I probably should have lived longer in one place in my country of birth. But again, this is the reason why I've picked the title, The Phoenix in Me. My life back where was born and raised, I didn't live in one place for that length of time, like 13 years in a row, in one row. That didn't happen. So you can imagine my life has been, yeah, like a global um, journey. Anyway, back to my present phase. I'm getting used to wearing spectacles. My eyesight is doing its own thing, among other things that are doing their own things. You know, in life, sometimes you have a strategy that you've established, that you've worked on, that you've planned and plotted, but life just seems to have its own agenda, and life seems to aggressively claim its own space and its own time in the plans that you make. And I guess this is what's happening. So, yeah, I've spent the last 2.5 months packing, and it's been the most interesting, the most triggering, the most educating, the most revealing phase of my life. I'm talking about the most revealing in terms of revelations about me. You can grow up to be my age, 51, almost 52, and actually not realize a whole lot of things about yourself. And when you find yourself in the situation that I'm in, that I have to move from where I'm staying, I'm downsizing. That's one of the reasons why I'm moving. But there's several other reasons that are going to be part of the story and that are actually also going to demonstrate why I've called the series The Phoenix in Me. Um, yeah, there are certain things about yourself that you don't actually realize only because the kind of subconscious parts of yourself, subconscious bits of yourself. There's certain things that you do without actually sitting down to say, I'm gonna do this, and do it this way because of this reason. They're just things that you seem to do automatically, impromptu. Yeah, while I've been packing, I have been finding things that I've kept over the years, and I can't seem to figure out why I kept them. And these are things that I either got from people as gifts, or I actually purchased them myself for a reason that I also am not quite sure of, or I've made them myself. Being a creative, those that know me know that I like making things. And some of these things are also things that have been left behind by people who've passed through my life. Things that I actually didn't realize people had left behind. But hey, I'm packing and I'm downsizing, which means I'm trying to scale down. And in that process, I've had to go through everything that is in this house, which is why I'm discovering these things. It's not my first time moving, but the last 2 times I've moved because it was highly necessary and it was a sudden necessity due to health issues. So, yeah, that's basically a summary of me introducing this new series that's going to be coming up on Phoenix Empty Nesters Creed social media platforms. See you when you see me.